Hey, welcome to Website Wednesday, and today we're talking about something that might not sound particularly glamorous, but it's really one of the most important things that you can do for your website, and that is maintenance. Think of it like looking after your car. You don't just buy it and then drive it forever without ever topping up the oil or checking the tires or getting an MOT. Your website works in exactly the same way. You need to keep your website up to date and maintained. And the reason why that's important is because keeping your site secure means making sure that outdated plugins are updated, because that's one of a number of ways that hackers can get in. And it's probably one of the most common ways that websites get hacked is when plugins are not updated. When we keep our website well maintained, it keeps things working properly. It means that you're fixing bugs and you're keeping things running smoothly. And also it keeps your site profitable, which is obviously what we all need, because if your contact form breaks or your checkout stops working, you can lose clients without even realizing that you're losing them. So even if the tech feels overwhelming, these small regular steps that I'm going to walk you through can make a real difference to the health and of your website, but also the health of your business. So let's break it down into weekly, monthly, and quarterly tasks. And I've got a checklist that I can give you a link to so that you can go ahead and download it afterwards. The things that I recommend doing every week, and honestly, it won't take long for you to do these. It's quick for you to manage these. If you can't manage it yourself, I have a service that I offer that will do all of these things, all of these weekly tasks for you. So the first thing is make sure that your website is backed up. Ideally, your host or a plugin such as Updraft Plus will do this automatically for you. So you don't even need to think about it. It just happens. And I suggest weekly if you are updating your site, probably on average about once a week. If you're updating your website daily, you need daily backups. But a hosting company will usually be backing up your website for you daily anyway. So then the next thing that you need to be doing is updating WordPress, your plugins, and your themes. It's just one click. So don't get overwhelmed by that. You literally just look out for those little red notifications. It'll tell you how many plugins or how many themes are needing updated, and you go ahead and update them. Now, if you've got oodles of themes on your website, a good thing to do is to clean those up. You should only really have your parent theme that you're using, a child theme if you're using that, and also one default WordPress theme. So at the moment we're in 2025, so that's the one that you'll be looking at having as the default one. There's 2016, 2017, 2018. So if you've got all of those on there, you can get rid of those. The next thing that you should really be doing weekly, because it's really important for the health of your website, but also to maintain your pipeline of leads coming in, is to check your contact form. And that's literally just send yourself a test. It's going to take you 30 seconds, if that. It also means that you're checking where you're landing on the thank you page or the success message that comes through as a notification that the form has been submitted. It's just good to keep on top of that. And then glance at your homepage to make sure that nothing looks off after you've done any of those updates. Once you've updated your theme and your plugins, you want to make sure that everything is looking as it should. So that's weekly, dead easy, right? So you're making sure your site is backed up weekly, you're updating your WordPress themes, plugins, and WordPress itself, you're testing your contact form, and you're just checking through at least your homepage to make sure that nothing's off. So monthly, this is going to take really also, it was not going to take you long. So once a month though, you do want to look a little bit deeper. So you want to look at your Google Analytics and your Search Console. Are people finding your site? Are you getting traffic to your site? And if not, what can you do about it? Clean out your spam comments if you have comments available on your website, and tidy up your database. There are plugins that can help you with this. Run a speed test. So if your site is slowing down, sometimes it's an indicator that something on your website needs fixing. And you really want to be keeping an eye on that site speed anyway, just to make sure that you're giving people who are visiting your site a good user experience. And check for broken links. So you want to make sure that people aren't hitting dead ends on your website, because if they're linking through to things and they're not arriving where they're meant to, really, it's like giving your visitors a broken sat nav. It's frustrating for them. They're not arriving where they thought they were going to. So that's monthly. Takes a little bit longer than your weekly tasks, but it's worth setting aside half an hour every month just to do that. And then quarterly, every few months, you just want to think about the bigger picture of your website. So review your content, make sure that your prices are still all up to date, check in on your testimonials, add any new ones that you've received in the last quarter, and make sure that the services that you have specified on your website are still the ones that you're offering. And ultimately, you might find that some of them need tweaking a little bit. Test your site on your phone. Is it still looking good? Is it still looking okay? Test your checkout or your inquiry forms. So would someone who is arriving on your website cold know how to take the next step? And check your plugins. Are you still using them all? Delete any of those that you're not using, and make sure that your privacy policy or your cookie notice still ticks all the right boxes, that it's still relevant and it's still up to date. So those are your weekly, monthly, quarterly tasks. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's so worthwhile setting some time aside. It doesn't have to be scary, doesn't have to be time consuming. And if you split up those tasks into your weekly, monthly and quarterly tasks, most of it's going to take you less than 10 minutes. Monthly, I would set aside half an hour so you can go through some of your analytics and really get a better idea of where your traffic's coming from, where you're falling down, and if there isn't enough traffic for you to make some really informed decisions about what aspects of your marketing is working, then you need to think about how you can start gaining more traffic, building more traffic to your site. If you'd like to hand any of this off, then that's exactly what I do for many of my clients. So you can focus on running your business whilst knowing that your website is healthy in the background. So just reach out if that's something that would be useful for you. So your takeaway for today, and something that I would love for you to take action on, is to just put a recurring reminder in your calendar for a weekly check-in with your website. And it's the easiest way to make sure that things aren't falling through the cracks. And once you've got that weekly checkup set up, then add in a longer checkup for your monthly one and a longer checkup for your quarterly one. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So drop something into the chat below, into the comments, to say checklist if you would like access to the checklist that I have available that takes you through those tasks so you can tick them off weekly, monthly and quarterly. And that's it. That's your Website Wednesday for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Join me again next week where I'll have more tips for you on your online marketing and your website.